Hey guys, it's Laura here. I'm not sure if anyone will be hopping on live to our little group here, but I wanted to go live. If you have never gone live before on Facebook, this is one of the do's of social media, but it's kind of nice because it takes you a little bit out of your comfort zone. It's not something I can erase and go back to. I just have to kind of wing it. So I made some notes about what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Have my new hair that I just got. I'm very excited about this extension. So I'm gonna keep looking at myself. But anyway, I wanted to expand a little bit more on the do's and don'ts of social media. So basically, this is going to be your platform for expanding your business and knowing that you can build a business on social media. It really is something that takes practice, and it is kind of an art, and some people are naturally better at it than others, but it's something that you can learn to do. And with practice sometimes following other coaches is really helpful. But I'm just going to take you through some key points. And the first point is consistency. And this is the hardest one for new coaches a lot of the time, because you probably have come from a place where you rarely post on Facebook, or you do once in a while. And this is where I was 18 months ago. I would think for literally hours before I would post something on Facebook because it stressed me out so much. And then I decided to do this, and I was like, all right, well, I've got to get over myself. And kind of first and foremost, if someone doesn't like it, they don't have to follow you. So that's one thing that you need to remember. But consistency is really key, because someone is going to follow you if you are posting regularly and they are inspired by your posts and they want to watch you. So you need to be consistent in order for that to happen. Our suggestion is, at a minimum, we want you to post 3 times a day. That's pretty much still what I do. There are some people, some higher level coaches who say they post 5 times a day. I rarely post that much. I don't think I'm that interesting. No, I'm just kidding. But I usually post 3 times a day. Usually one is about something Beachbody related, whether it's fitness, my meals, or something to do with a program or a customer or a challenger. And then one other one is typically about my kids, actually always about my kids. And then another one might be food or something like that. But I try to post, if I can. My aim is to post one impactful post a day. So I don't need all of mine to be these long books, but I want at least one post a day that's really impacting people, that's not just a picture of my kids. But starting out, just getting comfortable posting pictures of yourself, posting pictures of your kids, and then kind of cookie crumbing, we call it, but little pieces of your story. So you'll also find, based on where you're living, when your best times to post are. For me, usually once early in the morning, like 6 or 7, and I'm in mountain time, and then 11 or lunchtime, and then 7 or 8 p.m. even. I tend to get a lot of traction late in the evening. It seems like when people must sit on the couch and scroll their news feed. So that seems to be a good time to do it. So that's the main thing. Don't freak out if nobody's liking your post. It doesn't mean that they weren't good or that they're not impacting people. You kind of never know who's watching unless they say something, and a lot of times people don't. So don't worry about that. A lot of us who've been doing this for a lot longer still have posts where we put so much into it, and there's so much of my heart in this post, and then nobody comments or likes it or anything. Another thing that I was going to tell you guys to do is, if you're one of your coaches or one of your friends who's a coach on our team posts something and it doesn't have a lot of traction, help them out and comment on it, because that'll help bring it back into the news feed. Facebook has all these algorithms that they use, but the more likes and comments that post gets, the more they're going to cycle it in the news feed. So that's important to do. Number 2 is that you always want to make sure you're adding value. So, whether that's a healthy recipe to someone, that's always adding value, because who doesn't like a healthy recipe? If you're giving, for a little while, I wasn't consistent with it, unfortunately, but I was doing a move of the day, and it was showing people how they could do workout moves at home with their children. And you just don't want to be posting random, obviously you guys know probably by now, even from the post this morning, you don't want to post random stock photos, or don't just post a quote and nothing else with it. Like, talk about how it impacts you. So the third thing is to, as much as you can, you got to keep your negativity yourself. I think you guys have probably I have some friends on Facebook who will be like, you know, this happened at work, or, you know, they'll write really vague things like, why friends stab you in the back, I'll never understand. Doesn't really add value to anyone. It leaves people really kind of annoyed because they want to know the story behind it. Or if you got in a car accident, talk about how it impacted you mentally and how you're going to grow from that. You can share negative experiences, but you don't want to dwell on negativity, because people are going to stop following you if you do. Nobody wants to go on there to be like a big old Debbie Downer. So let's see. So the other thing is, you want your photos to be like absolutely scroll stopping. So that doesn't mean that every photo I post is amazing, but I want them to like pop and again add value. So if you post like a fuzzy, hard to see, if it's blurry, never post blurry pictures. It's like my pet peeve with coaches, okay? So a blurry picture doesn't do anything for anybody. Your picture's got to be clear. If you don't have a camera or a phone that takes clear pictures, you need to get a new one, because your business is sharing your face, sharing your life, sharing things that inspire you on social media. So there's also tons of apps that can either make, you know, color pop, or you can just put cool writing on your photos. People would much rather a photo of you with a quote versus, oh, I'm glad, Kyle, awesome. People would rather you with like a quote, say this was a photo of me and then I have a quote across my chest, versus just the quote up there, because people can Google, you know, inspiring quotes all day, but they want that provided to them. They want to follow somebody because I share things that mean something to them. So some of the apps that I use, my newest favorite is called WordSwag, and that has really cool, my favorite thing is it looks like splattered paint that the writing is in. So WordSwag, Photofy, Rana Design, Rana Collage, those are all ones I use on my phone. Pick, Play, Post if you want to do a photo and a video, which is kind of fun when you do workout stuff sometimes. And then there's, you know, PicMonkey and Canva. I use a ton of Canva on my computer. And that's I do that more for like team photos and announcements and stuff like that. So number 5 is be original, be authentic. It is 100% okay and good for you to follow coaches, especially coaches who you can relate to and who you find value in their posts. And Dana and I and some of the other coaches, we can share with you coaches that we follow. You just want to make sure you're not copying them. So sometimes it gets a little bit confusing, and it still happens to me in my head too, but I'll read something a coach wrote and I'm like, oh, I want to write that exact thing, basically. Like, that's exactly how I feel. But I can take that idea and I can, I gotta kind of like digest it and get it into my own words. It's just basically plagiarism if I take what they wrote and put it up. Thanks, Dana. So yeah, be original, be authentic, share from your heart. And the biggest thing that I try to teach my coaches is share your story. Putting up there, I'm doing the 21-day fix, yay. A lot of people do that, or they'll share a Shakeology. Share how it makes you feel, like in the core. Like, I felt like shit. This made me feel better. I had low self-esteem. This group of rocking coaches has changed my world. Like, share stuff that is going to be impactful to other people. I'm a busy mom of toddlers. I didn't think I was allowed to take time for myself, and it's amazing how my life has changed since I have. Think of that thing. Think of your story. Like, you've always got to be working on and writing down your why. Why are you doing this? What does it mean to you? What has it done for you? Because that's what you're going to cookie crumb and share with other people. So another thing that actually Dana had put in her video that I think is really a cool thing to say, and it sounds funny when you first say it, but be attractive. So that doesn't mean that you need to wear makeup. Most of my photos, I don't even have makeup on or my hair done because I rarely do that. I do happen to have mascara on right now. But anyway, you want it's kind of like making the photo attractive. You want your wording and your post as in general to be attractive. You want your photo or your video to be attractive. You want it to be attractive to the people that you want to impact. So however that whatever that may mean to you, it doesn't mean you have to be dressed to the nines or looking spectacular. It just means that you need to be you need to be inspired, and that needs to come through you into your post. Let's see. So another thing is really good to do is to share your obstacles. So people are always super afraid, especially new coaches, to share if they like fall off the wagon for a week or something like that. Share that with people, because that's real. And lots of people do it, and share that you fell off the wagon and then how you got back on, or who helped you get back on, or, my coach reached out to me and I was like, oh God, I know I'm not doing what I need to be doing, and I started doing it. So, just how you've committed, how you've overcome the obstacle of falling off the wagon and now you don't anymore, you only fall off for a day versus a week, or a week versus a month, etc. And then there's the whole saying, and it's kind of a Beachbody slogan, is facts tell and stories sell. So, and we always talk about the business of sharing, but ultimately the way that we make money is by sharing challenge packs with people and selling Shakeology. So we want them, through our stories, to be inspired to purchase those things through us. And that's the important thing. There are there are hundreds of thousands of Beachbody coaches. So you want them to think of you when they're ready to make a commitment. The next one is share transformations, and that doesn't have to be just you. I just had my recent coach who joined is like, I don't know how pregnant you are, Kelly, but she's quite pregnant already. And so she's not going to have this like amazing transformation in the next couple of months, because she's going to be getting bigger. It's the reality of pregnancy. So I suggested to her, like, use our transformations, look at our stories, and you can share those. She can also share her transformation from this pregnancy to her last pregnancy, which is really valuable too, because it's quite different, because she's been working with us this whole pregnancy. And then going back to, in terms of consistency, for a lot of you probably don't know about it yet, but there are ways to schedule your posts. So for example, I don't actually do this very often. I schedule into my teams and my groups and all of that. But for days that you're going to have a full day, if you're not allowed on social media at work, whatever it may be, and you're not going to be able to share, you can there's a program called Hootsuite. That's the one that I use. Dana uses something called Postcron. They're basically the same thing. But there are ways that I can go in and post my whole post and a picture, and I'll schedule it to post tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's simple. And then keep a journal, or I keep a journal, and then I keep, hopefully I'm still here, about just things that inspire you. And if you could see a quote on a billboard as you're driving, or you hear something on the radio, or I listen to social media a lot. I mean, I don't listen to social media. I listen to my personal development a lot. So I have to have a place to write my ideas down. And then on that note, if you're lacking inspiration, find different personal development, because that is where I personally, and a lot of coaches, get so much of our inspiration is through our personal development. And then lastly, I guess it's not lastly yet, but narrow it in terms of your story on social media. Start trying to jot down things, that are you. So for me, like, I'm a mountain mama. I live in the mountains of Colorado, pretty small town. Nursing is one of my things, but it's probably not something that defines me on Facebook very much. But being an active mom defines me for sure. And then I love cooking and experimenting with different recipes, stuff like that. So you want to try to think of, things that are going to define you, that people are going to follow you for, and try to narrow it down to 5 things, and try to like sprinkle those things throughout the week on Facebook. And then lastly, I just want you all to think about your why and who do you want to impact. So it kind of comes back to your avatar and who you are speaking to, and write your post to that person, the person you want to impact. So the mom who is staying at home, who has postpartum depression or anxiety, who still has 10 pounds to lose and can't figure out how to get that off despite doing exercise at home, who is depressed and alone and isolated. That is who I'm speaking to when I am trying to be inspiring, or when I feel inspired. That is who I'm trying to inspire. So anyway, I hope that is helpful. I have no idea how long I've been rambling on for, but I hope that wasn't too bad. Please comment or question anything below, and thank you guys all for watching. Happy Tuesday. All right, bye.